Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC, looking at another solution to illuminate your surroundings whilst in the dark. From Nextorch we have the TA31. Now I first managed to get my hands on this whilst at IWA in March this year, and that was kind of one of the prototype versions. There was some of the text that was missing off it, but kind of got to appreciate what a beast that it actually is. So as we usually do, let's turn the camera around and take a closer look. Now before we start, a quick look around the box here on the outside just gives you some extra information. The model is the TA31. Max level or max output is 10,000 lumens. It gives you a little bit around the ceramic breaker on the front. Low, medium and high, different modes on here. It tells you about a little bit about the candela. On the back here you've got bits about the lumens and stuff, but again, if you want to pause it maybe on this part here, just in case you want to read any of that, then it's all there, but we will go through some of this anyway. The gubbins that you get in here, so it does come with a lanyard, and it also comes with the USB Type-C cable so that you can charge this, as well as the instructions as well. Okay, now as we usually do, we'll have a look at some measurements, we'll have a look around the light and some of the features on the light itself, and then we'll have a look at the different modes that you can get from this. Now hopefully you'll be able to see this is rather, or at least I was going to say rather large, it's a lot larger than some of the usual kind of EDC lights that we looked at. The main reason for that is that this one is designed to have a little bit more battery in there because of the amount of lumens that this can put out. But as far as your measurements are concerned, so the entire length of this comes in at 156 millimeters. At its largest point, which definitely will be the head unit here, let's just make sure I can keep this in focus. You can see that this is larger. Now when I kind of hold it on its side like that, you'll be able to see that it has a similar length all the way down, whereas when I turn this round, hopefully you'll be able to see that it does taper down here, so that when you hold it in your hand. Now the largest measurement on here, which is the head unit there, so that comes in at 53 millimeters, and it does taper down ever so slightly down to 49 millimeters. It's a rather loud bird in the tree over there, so I will apologize about that. It seems to be singing to its mates somewhere. Now, as a lot of these lights are, they do save some weight in the construction from this. So this is made from a similar strong aluminium to a lot of other lights. And as far as the weight is concerned at this, now it's a little bit more than you'd expect. Well, I suppose for a light this size, it's probably roughly what you would expect, but it comes in at 425 grams. Oh, so forgot to mention, so the coating on this, so this is an anodized aluminium. I believe there's only one colour on this, which would make sense. It's kind of designed to be a for law enforcement. Now that's one thing. So if I didn't mention this, so the main kind of people that this is designed for are people within law enforcement or maybe the military. That's not to say that this can't be used for everyday use if you wanted to pick this up for everyday use. However, what I'd probably say is this is more of a light that's designed, due to its size, to be something that's either going to be on your belt, it's either going to be something that is kept in a backpack, or most useful probably for this would be something that you keep in your truck, in your car, that you'd have in the glove box, so that you've always got a large light should you need it. Now working my way around here, so actually I'll take a step back, because as I mentioned in here, so this does come with a USB Type-C cable. Around the outside, hopefully you won't notice that you can see the USB-C port on here. The way that you get into this is by unscrewing the head unit here. So this unscrews, and then on the inside, on the threads here, you'll be able to see that there is USB Type-C. Now I've tried this with a few different cables, because I know you guys like me to test that sort of stuff out. Let me get it right, I always get this wrong. So I've tried it with 6 different cables, plus the cable that it comes with, which is 7, and they've all worked perfectly, no issues whatsoever. That's not because this is a proprietary USB-C, that's just because sometimes you just need a little bit more clearance around the port so that you can get wider ones in, and it's not the male bit that goes into It's sometimes the plastic that's around there. But all of the ones that I've tested it with, they've all worked perfectly. Now, I do need to put stress with this. So this has a 4,800 milliamp hour battery in here. I'm guessing it's actually going to be two. There's probably one here and a second one here. With these batteries though, these are non-removable batteries, so that's something that you need to take into account if this is a light that you're thinking of picking up. If you're going to use this for prolonged periods and you need to swap out the batteries, then it might not be the light for you. However, if you're security, you have certain watches, certain walks or certain things that you do, but you always know that there is a period that you can get back to somewhere that you can recharge it, then I think that should be fine. I haven't took this apart, however, there's a grub screw here on this side and another grub screw here on this side. So I think if you were to purchase one of these and then say maybe in 6 or 7 years the batteries, if they did die, you'd get a 5-year warranty on the batteries with this. But after say 6 or 7 years, if you had issues with your batteries, I'm sure it would be as simple as taking these two screws out, because there's almost a point here where the head locks so that you can't open it any further. But I think if you undo those, that will allow you to be able to take the head unit off, and then you'd be able to change the batteries. That's just a pure guess. I'd say it's a reasonably fair, educated guess from taking the lights apart in the past. But yeah, it is just kind of a guess. But screwing that back down, give it a bit of a squeeze, pull it tight, and then you're good to go. That should stop your dust and your water from being able to get in here. As far as consumer electronics go, and especially for this one, it is an IP68 or an IP68. The 6 is for the dust rating, the 8 is for the water rating. Both of those are the highest that you can get for consumer electronics, which is great, especially for a light like this that you might be using in some reasonably extreme situations. Again, if you're an officer and you have to go and check on a car or whatever it is that you're doing, and it's raining, at the end of the day, your job does not stop or isn't weather dependent, is it? Now, getting back to the light, so if I turn this round on the end here, and again I'm just going to make sure I'm going to tap this to keep this in focus. So you have your 4 LEDs in here. These 4 LEDs will on its brightest or on its highest setting will force out those 10,000 lumens. Each of these has a reflector each, and they are flat reflectors, which does help to throw out that light when I move it around there like that. It does have a warm spot, so rather than using an orange peel reflector in there, which would help to diffuse it a little bit more, I think mainly because there are 4 of these, it does help to diffuse the light a little bit better. But I'll take this down to the woods tonight and we'll have a look at this in the dark for sure. Also on the front here there are 2 sensors, so this does work in the respect that I'm just going to put this onto its tactical mode. So if you have something within 15 centimeters on this and you turn it on in its tactical mode, hopefully you'll see there it came on and it's 10,000 lumens, you got that burst of light, and then those sensors noticed that it was close to something and it kicked it down. That's to make sure that the circuitry in here doesn't overheat because it's close to something, maybe it's been negligently discharged in your pocket, and 2, because this can kick out 10,000 lumens, just doing that I instantly feel the heat on my hand when that does that. Now, different to how some other sensors work, so if I turn this on and then bring my hand close to it, it will kick down. Some other sensors have it so that if you turn it on and then bring your hand close, it won't kick down. It will only kick down when you turn it on and it's close. It's just a different type of sensor. It's a different way in which Nextorch feel that they should use that to prioritize the security. But again, it's just another factor that you need to take into account, whether you prefer one like this or you prefer the other type. Around the edge here, so you have some reinforced stronger metal, and then you also have these 3 ceramic beads. If you're in a situation that you need to be able to get into a window, or if there's a passenger in a car or something like that and you need to be able to smash those, then these 3 ceramic beads here will help you to do that. Coming back down, so as I mentioned, so turning this onto its side there, hopefully you'll see that there's a difference in that, and I will say, as far as ergonomics is concerned, this is very nice in the hand. I think this is the perfect marriage of two different styles of light. There's a lot more of these rectangular kind of chocolate bar shaped lights that for me are just perfect for ergos, but also still retaining the ability to have those 4 LEDs at the end, so that you can get that kind of that brutalness that you get from the 10,000 lumens if needed. There's some kind of finger swells on the top here, which I think are kind of nice. You don't really feel them all that much. There's a little bit of checkering here, but there's no jimping knurling as such to get an extra grip. But what I will say is, this does have almost like a soft touch feel to it. I don't know if they've sandblasted or bead blasted this before they then did the anodizing process, but it actually feels quite grippy in your hand. A lot of anodized products can feel reasonably slippy. This one doesn't, and in fact as well, if you get wet hands, it's even easier to grip it. And also if you've got gloves on, especially leather gloves or synthetic leather gloves, it's also very easy to keep a grip on this. Now, getting back to the UI, you've probably seen me fiddling with this switch here at the end. So that's kind of part of the UI, but generally it's all used by this single tail switch here on the end. Now, this does have a blue light in there, so if I put this onto duty mode and then turn it back to lock, hopefully you'll see that the blue light is there. So you have a full blue light, you have a flashing blue light, you have a red light, and then a flashing red light, and that will indicate how much battery that you have left in this. But it's all operated by this single tail switch. But then you do have different modes in which you can be in, and there are 2 modes. I guess you could kind of say 3 modes, but so the first mode would be the lock mode, if you would consider this to be a mode. Now, when it's in its lock mode, no matter what you do, you can half press, you can double press this, you can press this as much as you want. It's just simply not going to turn on. Whereas if you do want to get some use from this, you can either put it into duty mode. Now, duty mode is kind of your everyday utility mode. So you have an ultra low, you have a low, medium, and high mode, and it will cycle through those. Or if the last mode, it does have a memory on there, so if the last mode that you use was medium, then it will come back onto medium. Whereas the tactical mode uses the full. This is your turbo mode, and it is also your strobe mode as well, again, should you need that. When it's on the duty mode, and I'm just going to show you this for now, mainly because it will make sense again when we get back to the tactical mode. So the button on the end here, similar to other lights like this, you have a half press which will give you instant access to certain things. So actually, let's just go turn it off for a second or so. If I do a half press now, this will put it into its ultra low mode, and there's a definite wall there that you feel. So if I take my thumb off this, that then turns the light off. If I do another a half press and hold it there, it's back on ultra low. But if I want it to stay on ultra low, then I can push it again down further, and you'll see that this will then keep it on. To turn it off, you have to do that full press, which is past that first wall and then all the way down. When it is on, so at the moment we're on ultra low, if I then do a half press, it will take me on to low, another half press will take me onto medium, and then another half press will then take me onto high. If I do another half press, it will take me back down to its ultra low setting. Now, when it is off, so as I mentioned before, so you can do a half press or half press or prolonged half press, and that will give you instant access to the ultra low mode. But what you can also do is, so if you were unsure what mode that we finished off on, in fact, so let's turn this on and we'll put it onto medium. What you can do is you can do a quick half press like that, and you'll see that it's now cycling through the different modes. So if you were unsure or you knew that it was still on still on high and you wanted to do something, it was on low mode, then you don't have to turn it fully on to be able to do that. You can quickly cycle through those modes so that when you turn it back on again. So that was perfect. That was perfect timing. So actually, let's put it onto medium there. So when you put it on, oh, why is it not doing? I think it's because I was messing around with the buttons before, so it will give you instant access, and you can check which one it's on when you're not trying to do something on camera and always getting it wrong. Now the other option is for the tactical setting. So the tactical setting on this gives you instant access to those 10,000 lumens, and it's only on its tactical setting that you get access to the turbo. The high setting on this is 6,000 lumens, but if you want that turbo, it has to be on the tactical. And again, you have two options with this. So you can either do half a press, which gives you your full 10,000 lumens, or if you do a full press, that then gives you instant access to your strobe. None of these are ones that you can kind of keep on though. So with the full press before, half a press was for that to turn on momentarily, and then you do a full press for it to stay. With this, half a press, actually I kicked down because my hand was in front of it, but half a press is turbo, but if I take my thumb away, it will turn off. If I do a full press, it's strobe, and if I take my thumb away, it will turn off as well. I think one, that is mainly to make sure that this doesn't burn out here on the end, but also two, so that you can kind of have that instant access of light, but then be able to take your thumb away and not have to worry about it again, to whether you need to turn this off, or you're concerned about giving away your position, or I don't know, anything like that. Right. Let's see this in action. Let's get down to the woods and just show you exactly what this can do with its 10,000 lumens. Okay, now we're down at the woods. The sun is definitely down, and so what we'll do is we'll go through the settings as we usually do, as it stands. So I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to do a long press, is where you'll be able to see we're on its ultra low setting, or its eco mode. I know I keep mentioning it's ultra low, but they refer to it as eco mode. In its eco mode, this is 20 lumens, and I think for an eco mode, 20 lumens is reasonably bright. Standing around me, I can see, that tree is about, okay, let's move back a bit. It's now about 5 meters away. There's a tree down there on the floor, but I can see trees 15 meters away easily. I can see around me. Walking the dogs at night, this is a great mode for that, for an eco mode, especially with 20 lumens. It does a lot. I can then do a half press, which will then take me up to the low mode, and bizarrely low on this is 320 lumens. So that tree there right in front is about 10 meters away. You can see up into the canopy reasonably well. Looking back this way, both of these trees are about 5 or so, maybe-ish. And then off into the distance now, you can see those trees there. They're the ones that I mentioned before, that I say 15, 20 meters away. So with 320 lumens on the low mode, it's reasonably bright for a low mode. I can do another long press. This will then take me up to the medium mode. So on medium, which is crazy because medium is 1,500 lumens. Turning back around again, that tree is lit up like a Christmas tree. Up into the canopy here, a lot of light. Now as you look, I'm kind of holding this up close to my head, mainly because the button is here on the end, whereas usually, you could hold it like this and you could press. So let's just hold this and do as I usually do. So you can kind of see that there is a warm spot there. As I move this around, you can see where that warm spot is against the tree there. But as usually, so pointing this directly forward, 45 degrees to the left and back, 45 degrees to the right and back. Now you can see, so if I turn this around here, you can see there's a reasonably defined skirt on this. But as I mentioned before, so with having those 4 reflectors, or 4, I suppose, there are 4 reflectors and there's 4 LEDs on the front. It does help to spread that light quite a lot. I've been able to look down there again, so that's where I was looking before with those trees that are say 15-20 meters away. I can now see past those. In fact, if I come over this side, this is probably the best side, where I can now see trees maybe, well, I can easily see 100 meters down there into the distance. And that's just medium mode. I can do another press and this will take me up onto high. So I just had a scratch in my nose there. And this is 6,000 lumens on high. So again, let's come back here and have a look at this tree and you can see just the difference on there. In fact, let's go back down to the eco mode. So there's eco, there's that tree, low, medium and high. There's a lot of light being pumped out of this at this moment in time, and this isn't even the highest setting. Here again, so if I hold this to the side here, you can see that skirt there, but now being able to see off into the distance. Let's cycle those again. So we're on eco, low, medium. Oh, sorry, I pressed it. Medium, and there's high. So you can see a lot further into the distance, and also be able to see the canopy in the trees in the distance as well, which is nice. Look at that, absolutely amazing floodlight. On this mode, because we're on the duty mode, I'm sure you can imagine being able to use this if you're trying to search for somebody in the woods like this, or if you're trying to make your way through buildings and you're trying to search for things inside a building. You can completely imagine that this will give you all the light that you need to be able to either find that person or also I suppose make yourself what's the word, kind of, so that other people can see you as well. Now we also have the what's it mode on this. So there is the there's the lockout mode, which we're on now, so you can see that the light's on there. Turn this all the way around. Now we're on the tactical mode. So when I do this, if I do a half press, this is that uber turbo. So this is now 10,000 lumens. Actually, let's come back over here again. We've walked away, haven't we? But they are looking down into the distance, the amount of light that produces. Now this is getting reasonably hot, and you just saw that it just kicked down ever so slightly there. So we'll just give it a second and I'll show you a full press. Here is that strobe, which is pretty crazy. And then I can flick that back around again and I'm back onto the duty mode, where I can then cycle through each of those again. So very simple to be able to switch between the different modes and then get access to each of those as well. It's incredible how much light this does throughout. And I will say as well, so the quality of the light is a very good light. It's a very clean, very crisp light. Having this down on here, hopefully, I hope the camera does this a justice in the fact that there's no sort of, there certainly doesn't seem to be any green or any orange or yellow added to this. So yeah, really impressed with this in the dark. Now TA31 is definitely what I'd consider a pocket cannon as far as lumens is concerned. We're not really concerned about candela with this. This is purely designed to throw as much light into a large area as possible. I mean, you know, you've got those 4 LEDs at the front. I do like that this is kind of a marriage between 2 different types of form factors. You used to get those kind of traditional long barrels that was like trying to hold on to like a Red Bull can. I like that they've been able to change and mix this up. You can see where the 2 batteries sit on top of each other with this. Being able to hold it like that, it certainly makes it a lot more ergonomical in your hand. And plus with that extra little switch that you've got there, I think for people specifically in law enforcement, although I guess to some extent you can still EDC this, there's no reason why you can't EDC a light like this, but specifically because it has those functions, whether it's for duty or whether it's for tactical use, and then the switch on the end, I think this might be a very popular light for law enforcement, well, which makes perfect sense because that's who it's kind of designed for. Now I want to say a huge thank you to Nextorch for sending this to me. Also, kind of as well, I just want to say thank you for your hospitality whilst I was on the stand at IWA this year. One of the best stands to go and visit. Yeah, they really do make you feel like you're kind of part of the team there. So yes, thank you for sending this to me. I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from Nextorch and their other lights. I'll also leave some of my social media links here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel Moorlander Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. You'll just have to excuse my washing machine, it is just emptying. The pipe comes out of the kitchen here to here. Damn, that is full. It's like a racehorse taking a pee. Then when you go to the county show and you see some of those big bulls just taking a pee. There's a rural thing for us ruralites to appreciate. Bulls taking a pee. That's when you know it's like, that's a big bladder. Another strange one for the bloopers. Come on, mate. God, just shake it off. Is that you done? Good. Got the Nextorch TA31. Now I first got my hands on this year, well, just a few months back, whilst at IWA. Start that again. I forgot where I was. I got the numbers right, letters right in my head, but I got the numbers the wrong way around. I was trying to think. I'm working on the end piece and I think it's getting better. I think that's probably the best way. Hey, do you know what? This is going out on Wednesday. I hope you're all having a nice hump day. We've had a full, or at least we're in the midst of a 4-day week this week, so that's always nice. Yeah, cool. Happy May Day. I hope you all had a nice May Day bank holiday. And yeah. See you in a bit.